evening, night creatures, remnants of the Belmont clan across the world, and gamers. Welcome to the Amateur Otaku podcast. We're excited to be here tonight live. The whole crew is here. We got Isaac, myself, Brandon, and our special guest who hasn't been here in a while, but he knows to talk good animation, especially now with Castlevania, the one and only El Guapo VO, Rob Moreira. What's up, man?
Indeed. What's going down? Thanks for having me again.
Yes.
Especially
We're
to talk
very
Castlevania, because man, do I love me some Castlevania.
We haven't had you since we talked Castlevania. I think it was 3, right? The third season when it came out a while ago.
Fenna.
Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
a pirate princess was there.
Yeah. Because I know, yes, a good friend from High Parents. Yes. So we're excited to talk Castlevania Nocturne, the newest installment to Netflix's Castlevania anthology, because it's not necessarily a season 4, 5 of Castlevania. It's a new chapter. It's a whole new series with brand new characters, brand new art style, and amazing storylines. And what an amazing season 1. It's already renewed for season 2.
Not surprised.
And what a great cast of characters. And we can't wait to talk about it because we loved Castlevania Nocturne. This is the Amateur Otaku, the final take. Now, Rob, let's get down to it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the nitty-gritty right away.
Nitty-gritty.
You have been a long-time gamer. We know this.
Yeah.
And we love Castlevania. You love Castlevania.
Yeah.
When you saw the teaser, because I think the teaser for Nocturne came out at the end after the release of the last season of the last Castlevania, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you saw the teaser, and now that you've seen the show, how has the hype been? How's the journey been?
Well, it was. I mean, it was pretty awesome overall. I would say. I mean, I was already hype. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm like the biggest Castlevania fan, but I am a fan. You know, I played the original series back in the day, and I revisited them as I got older as well. Symphony of the Night is one that you always have to kind of revisit every now and again. So after watching the first seasons, and knowing that there was more coming out, and that we were going to be following Richter, who's a character that I'm probably know maybe the least about, truth be told. I was actually kind of excited because I wanted to see where they were going to go, especially with my minimal knowledge on the character. I feel like I was kind of going at it from a nice place as like kind of like a regular audience member that's not fully entrenched in the Castlevania lore. So I didn't want to like immediately jump into like Rondo of Blood and like start replaying everything because it's been a while. So I didn't want to like refresh. I wanted to go in as fresh as possible, with no expectations. And truth be told, I mean, it was I don't know what I expected. I don't know, truth be told, if I expected anything. I was just kind of like just going in, waiting to see what they were going to give me. And between the animation, how like the shift of how they did animation from the first seasons to this one, how important music played a role in the overall season, and then Richter's overall kind of arc. I was actually I was very happy. I liked everything. And besides Richter, like there was like it seemed like there were high emotional stakes kind of for everyone to some capacity. And I thought that was actually kind of cool because it kind of forced you. I went into it thinking this is a Richter story, and you kind of walk away caring about everybody, to some degree, which is pretty cool. Like I cared about Richter as much as I cared about Edouard's story, which at one point you thought his story was over, and then it really wasn't, which was really cool because it was almost kind of like, all right, well, that story ended, so now I don't have to think about it anymore. And the way they brought it back, Not sure if we're going to go into spoiler territory later, so I'm not going to go into it now. But when it was brought back, I was kind of like, huh, this is an interesting take on it, especially considering how much we went into the nitty gritty of forge masting and forge making and you know what it took to create the night creatures and how that happens, and to see kind of it spun on its head in this one, it was cool. There was just a lot of things that were different that I thought were really refreshing overall. It felt familiar and yet very different from the initial 3 seasons that we got, which was really cool. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, because as someone that is not an avid Castlevania fan, because I haven't really played the games, but it's one of those like, it's like, I'm going to say this, everybody knows it by now, and Isaac hates me for it, but it's fine. I respect greatness, right? And Castlevania to me is like the Legend of Zelda. I haven't really played a Legend of Zelda game to completion where I can say,
wow, he's gonna keep us in suspense live.
No, he just took me out of the stream because he's
oh, that wasn't nice.
But what I'm trying to say, damn it, is that just like Legend of Zelda, I recognize how big of an IP it is. I go to YouTube and watch the stories and the lore. It's super interesting. It's super intricate, right? Like I know the gaming experience is one thing, but I love the lore around it. And to me, that's the kind of stuff that I go looking for. Castlevania is the same way. Like, I'm the kind of guy that will go to YouTube, watch a lore video, and get lost in that, right? And as someone whose primary connection to Castlevania is the series, the biggest question for me was going in is, I don't know when it's going to take place, as in terms of time, right? I don't know how much time has passed. I know it's a different character. Because the first couple of seasons of Castlevania, was lightning in a bottle. Like, they got the right, they came up with the right cast. They got the right voice actors. They figured out the story. They figured out what's going to make it work. Like, to the point that, for those that haven't seen Castlevania's original seasons, you shouldn't be here. Spoilers. The fact that they were able to make an amazing show, even after Dracula was in a big role there. You know what I mean? True. Like, the show was still strong, even without the presence of the main villain of the games.
Right.
Like, the question was, can they capture that magic again? Can they make me care for new characters? Can they make this world interesting and new again? And they definitely did. Like, the idea that, like you said, you think it's going to be a Richter story, but it's really, what a great way of introducing a new cast of characters and have us all care for them, because one of the things
you care for the ensemble, not just the main. Right. Like as much as he is kind of the lead, he's kind of not really.
Right. He's not the only lead.
Right.
Because everybody has stakes in the game, and it's like the lessons learned from the previous seasons, because anybody can say the first season of Castlevania was pretty much Trevor's story.
Yeah.
It was all about Trevor actually, understanding that he needed to get his head back in the game, understand what his role is. Right. And then from there on, it built to become the whole Sypha, Alucard, and everybody else, right?
Right. Here, yeah, they took their time to develop Trevor, to develop Alucard and Sypha, and then kind of wrap them all together, which is nice. Right. It very much was the story of the three.
Right. And they've done this here from the get-go.
From the beginning. Yeah.
Yep. What a great way of doing that. And before we jump into analyzing it and then going into spoilers, that's what it did for me. Like the fact that I feel they captured the magic again. I think they've made me care about and remember, so it wasn't just the characters that I fell in love with. I fell in love with this world. So I don't miss Trevor. I don't miss Sypha. I don't miss Alucard.
Yeah.
I fell in love with these characters now.
Yeah, for sure. Like I miss them in the sense that I like the story, but I don't miss that they're not in this story.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
for
like the
sure.
fact that they're mentioned, it's enough. Like, I
Yeah.
don't need to see them.
Yeah,
Like,
like we
the
know they
idea that
existed.
right,
They're in the universe. That's enough.
right,
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
Now, Isaac, going into this show, right? What was your reaction going into it, Isaac, of watching Castlevania Nocturne? Did it meet your expectations? Did it blow them away? How was it for you?
I mean, I was.
You're muted, Papa. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, sorry. When I first got the news that they were doing the more Castlevania, I was kind of stoked because I love the original one with Trevor, Sypha and Alucard. I even rewatched it a couple of days ago, and when I didn't had so much to do and I just needed to focus on something, and those last 2 episodes of season 4, they get me every time. If you have watched it, you get it, especially the end of this last episode. But I digress. I remember being one thing that surprised me though when they announced it was that they did announce that they were covering Richter and not Simon, considering, well, Simon is the most recognizable after all. But and the only way I recognize Richter from the start is from Smash Brothers. Funny enough, and also I need to kick your ass in Smash Brothers again soon, but that's a different story. But when after watching this, I actually really enjoyed it. The only really negative, so to speak, is that, as I said prior to the recording, that I'm a bit disappointed that David Vincent, who voices Richard in at least the Smash Brothers game, I don't know if he did it previously in any other thing, didn't return, but the guy that voices Richard here did a phenomenal job, so I can't complain. And I'm so glad we are getting a season 2, because if this was the only season, then the ending of the first season would just piss me the F off. Or should I say piss me the fuck off. But yeah. And you're muted, Brandon.
There it is. Yeah, it's a great season. They did so many things right. They made a lot of things also, and to make it feel fresh, because figure in animation, it's very easy to make things feel like retreads, right? You have to make key decisions to make it feel new. And they definitely did it with the art style. And not just the redesign of the characters, because on all the different characters stills that we've seen, you can see how they've evolved the original designs into the designs that we see now. But I don't know why, but I don't know if you guys felt this. I felt this with the art style, which it speaks to the period of time, which is during the French Revolution in the late 1800s. Everything feels like impressionist paintings. There's a lot of use of color, and the way color is used, and the way the brush, and how a lot of things feel like brush strokes as opposed to actual drawings. Like, I see stuff like this, and it reminds me of a lot of backgrounds, like especially Tara's garden and stuff like that, where when she's like, when I forgot her name, when Maria is burying the bird that her creature that dies. Spoilers ahead, by the way. Like, those shots and the use of colors remind me, like, these are Claude Monet paintings, which are from the era, and a lot of the art style feels like this, and it reminds me of this. And there's moments like, I don't know if you caught it, Rob and Isaac, where you go back to when we're seeing Annette's backstory in Saint Domingue. There's a lot of abstract art styles and video shots, like when she's running away. Like it's very abstract. It's very interesting, taking into account the cultural background and style of different countries. And to me, that was so great and so refreshing, because it made me feel, oh wait, this is not your daddy's show, right? You know what I mean? Like this is mine. This is something that feels more close to home, and it breathes new life into it. Like the art style and the action was just great.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a great a great approach to it. I will say, because of how niche it is, it could be jarring to a lot of people though. So I will
Yes.
say that
Yes.
it's not 100% all viewer friendly either. Like you do have to have a bit of a creative eye to kind of appreciate what they're doing, because there were many moments with the animation that I was looking at it that in for different reasons, like I got so sucked into what was happening in the background and what I was kind of looking at and trying to understand, that I missed the action that was happening. Now, and that's from an appreciation standpoint.
That's 100% valid.
From somebody who's
Yeah.
not appreciative of it, they just see it and being like, "Why is this show trying to give me a seizure?" Like, there's so much happening, and it's so jittery. It
Yeah.
almost feels like that it's kind of hard for your eyes to kind of track what's going on. So that's one thing I will say, that it's kind of like you do have to kind of be a special kind of viewer to truly appreciate
Right.
what they did. And did they potentially maybe go a smidge overboard with it on certain sections, because it may turn some people off. So I think that was something that kind of stood out to me, where I was kind of like, oh, that's dope. I see what they're doing. That's really awesome. I could see why people may hate this though.
Yes.
Which is another
Yes.
thing. So that's something to kind of keep in mind for anybody jumping into it fresh and brand new. It's kind of like when people saw the new Spider-Man movie, like, because of its style, because of that new Sony style that they use in Spider-Man, there are certain sections where, I was like, whoa, animation wise, like they're doing some like wild stuff here. But a cousin of mine saw the same movie and she was like, my eyes were exhausted from that movie. She actually hated it. She loved the story, but the animation was too much for her eyes. She was just like, it's just too much. There was too
They're
much
throwing
going
so
on.
much at you
Yeah, there's just
that
so
sometimes you
much
can't
coming.
process everything.
Exactly. So
Yep.
this, now with that kind of frame of mind, I was just like, it's interesting the direction that certain, animators are taking. Is it pushing it too far and pushing the animation
That's
to a
interesting.
niche
That's a very interesting
audience
take.
and kind of escaping the overall mass market? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have shots like this one, like
Mhm.
the depth,
Yeah,
the
the
depth
depth,
of scope.
the
Yeah.
perspective there is like
Yep.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of different things, a lot of so many layers.
Mhm.
Like these are and the funny thing is the fact that we just saw Castlevania season 4, what, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
This
Yeah, it's been a bit.
looks so different. And like, I don't know if you guys felt this way too. Like, and Isaac, I want to get your feedback on this. Like, I felt it from the first shot of the first episode. The water animation, like, you know how people talk about water animation in video games? It's like, bro, I can see it. The drip is so, you know what I mean? Like, but the water, like the way the water was, the boat going through it, the waves, like, oh, I was like, what am I watching? Like, I was just blown away. But everything you're saying is 100% right, because especially in Spider-Verse, it makes me think about, especially not only doing drastic animation takes, but also pushing colors to their extremes to
Mhm.
make that work, and the drastic changes of colors.
Right.
Like a lot of times we underestimate how much we can process. Like you
Mhm.
like You know what I mean? And that's, I never thought about it that way till you mentioned it, and it's 100% true.
Yeah, because
Um,
we are appreciators of the style and the art. You know what I mean? Like we because of that, we can appreciate and understand what it is that they're trying to do. But the everyday, just normal viewer that's not an avid diehard fan that's just looking for a cool anime to check out can watch this and can easily be turned off by that already, create a negative perception of the show, and then now see only the negative in the show
right,
moving forward. Like, it's going to be hard to kind of knock them out of that. So I mean, it's not for everyone. Nothing is for everyone ultimately. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, this definitely
Yeah,
caters to a specific audience, presumably the video game audience. But even then, I feel like there may be a bit of a split there, because of that. Not necessarily just because of that, but I think that may be one thing that might stand out to people is because it was a change and it is now an unfamiliar style to a capacity. I think that could, potentially rub some folks the wrong way. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was really cool. It was very
yeah,
unique. I like I like that they did a lot of the stationary background while the characters moved within the stationary. So it was kind of like they were walking through paintings. I thought that was kind of cool.
yeah.
So yeah,
They
like there
do
was
that a
just
lot.
yeah, there was a lot of like just visual artistic painting specific effects that they were working with that I thought was actually pretty dope.
Yeah. So Isaac, what was your take on the animation? I want to hear your take because because you rarely watch anime, right? Said no, you
What?
watch too much.
Me watching anime? What's an anime? I didn't know. But I actually enjoyed it because you haven't seen that much stuff in animation right now. But at the same time, like Rob said, I can understand why someone wouldn't like this animation style because, for example, with Spider-Man, I wasn't. For those that are not aware, I have epilepsy, so and so it's sort of like for me, it's like what can I watch at home? What should I watch? Sort of like there, and judging by the animation from what I heard and seen, I wouldn't dare watch that. But Spider-Verse at the movies, but it just I could just soak every frame. It's sort of like how you talk about it. It's like a painting because it's every frame, or at least majority of the frames, are like a painting, and that's what's so cool about it. But at the same time, like Rob said, it can be a bit much at times.
Yeah, and I think it's all linked to like they really wanted it to feel like a period piece, which is why they make those choices. Which is interesting because that's one of the key things of the Castlevania lore is that almost every game we're following a different hero, but in a completely different time period. Like years, decades, centuries have passed in between games, and we still deal with evil and fights. And I like how when it comes to the storyline, not just the idea that it takes place during the French Revolution, the idea that we were able to see how all of these characters fit into the time period, but also you have a story of of a generational story, right? The idea that we carry our ancestors, we carry story within us, and exploring that theme of story. Like the idea of Annette carrying all her ancestors and how she's a representative of all those that came before her. The idea that Richter has to make a choice to be the last bearer of the Belmont name after everything that's happened. The idea that Maria has to decide what her position towards the future of the country is going to be, which I find it interesting that all of them are playing different roles that not only intertwine with their own personal stories, but also with what's going on in the time period. So that's one of the things that I like about the stories, because it felt global in a sense that anybody could find something to relate to, not just because of the time period piece, but it also felt that unique and relatable to so many people. Like, I wasn't expecting me to be able to relate on different levels with every character, which that's one of the reasons why I love the story so much. And I'm excited. Like, even if I don't get a season 2, I know we're getting one. But it's one of those things that they accomplished so much in the realm of story that I was very satisfied. You know what I mean? Like even if I didn't get a sequel to this game was just so good that I am satisfied. That's how I felt with the story. Now we have new characters. We talked about it. We have Richter in the forefront as the new Belmont that we're following.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new villain,
Yeah.
which what is it? Erzsébet Bathory?
Erzsébet Bathory, which is really cool because Elizabeth Bathory is an actual historical figure. She was which is what I thought was so cool, introducing her, because Elizabeth Bathory, it was believed, I think it was even like actually proven, but she was known to bathe in the blood of virgins to keep herself young, and this was an actual person. So the fact that in this she's a vampire totally tracks.
right.
Yeah, so that was pretty dope. But they call her Elizabeth Bathory, but in the show, but her actual name is Erzsébet.
And we follow now the whole thing with Erzsébet and the whole plan of the vampires. I want to know what you guys thought about that. The fact that they made the decision to make the villain's plan very parallel to how rich people actually are. Like, really, really powerful people in society actually are. And I found that very interesting, very personal, and the idea that vampires are forsook the life of the poor. And like, I love those parallels in story. When you guys saw that, the idea that yes, all the marquis, all the people with money, they're all vampires. And they're all sucking literally the people dry. What do you guys think about that parallel? Because that's not something that we really explored in the original series. It really made a point to make this something center to how they presented the enemy.
Personally, I while I liked it when it was kind of introduced, it felt like they were trying to it's like they wanted to make sure that the nuance wasn't missed, so they presumed the audience was stupid and smashed you over the head with the idea. And I was kind of like,
that is
shit.
true.
It's like, guys, I got it. Yes, rich people suck. They're vampires. They suck the money. They suck your job. I get it. But damn, like, God, all right, man. I get the metaphor. I understand. So if it felt heavy-handed on purpose, because in order for the story to progress, you had to understand that fact. So it was like, while they wanted to be like cool and make like a slick metaphor, at the same time they were like, look at the cool metaphor we're looking, and understand what we're saying. So I was kind of like, shit, okay, got it, okay.
It's like, pay your writers.
No. Yeah, so it was like they were, it's kind of like they beat you over the head with the idea, and it was really, but though to be fair, it only felt like that, and I think it was really just kind of like the first episode or second episode.
Yeah,
when they
like after we really get into the whole Bathory thing.
Yeah,
then it goes. It's there, but it's not
like it's there. But now they can like move on. Like, but it's like when they did that, it was kind of like, we want to make sure you understand what we mean by this entire metaphor. Thank you for watching our show. Now we can move on to the story. So I was like, You could have just held up a sign that said "rich people equal vampires" or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I got it. So yeah, I thought that was kind of like, I found it humorous. Like, it wasn't like, it didn't take me out of it, but it was like, all right, in case anybody watching is dumb, here you go.
Here it is.
There you go.
Just for y'all.
Yeah, for the dummies, this is what we mean.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our winner
God.
speaks truth. It's a universal constant. Sadly.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. That is absolutely the case. You know, no shade on no shade on the nice rich people, but you know,
You know,
but it
we're
is.
not trying to say you're douchey, but
but it is cool to see though, that, because it almost kind of feels like, especially like in movies like Interview with the Vampire, it's like, we know they are affluent to a degree, but they also like to lurk in the shadows. While in Castlevania, they were kind of like, no, we're vampires, we're rich, and we're out in the open. We're here. This is who we are. So I thought that take on it was actually kind of cool.
Right. Which again is another fresh take. Like the idea that vampires didn't operate the same way. It was also very refreshing and a great step forward.
Yeah, like they didn't hide that they were vampires. They were like, we're rich and we're vampires and we run shit. What are you gonna do? You're poor.
And if you find out, you're gonna find out.
Like, you're gonna revolt? Oh, well, guess what? We got a god coming. So, yeah.
Now, the whole Sekhmet Egyptian god of that right there, I loved it. I love the fact that they gave us they gave us a big bad like that. To me, was like, okay, bet. And it's funny because when they start introducing who she is, and she shows up in this golden carriage like Atlas, like, bro, I got this. You know what I mean? Like, I
love that shot of her with the girl that they bring her, and she's like on the floor, and you see like her
and she looks like a moon.
Yeah, I was like, that is a great shot. That is so cool.
Yep.
I thought that was a really nice still.
It was one of those things where by that episode, which by the way, that's like episode, I think it's 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah, it's well into the series at that point, because they took a bit.
At that point, you're like, yeah, they ain't beating her ass. That's not happening.
Oh yeah.
At that point, you're like,
I mean, she sucked the blood of an Egyptian goddess. Apparently, gods exist to some capacity, and so
I mean,
so I was
Trevor beat death. So
right. Well, yeah, true. But like, you know, that's death.
No, I gotcha.
Death exists everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's a universal constant. But the fact that an Egyptian god exists, like, that's very specific. It's kind of like, oh, well, if Egyptians gods exist, what else exists? That they're, you know, what are they trying to say? What else is out there? So I thought that was very like, okay, we're getting into some very interesting territory.
So, and that's my favorite thing, my favorite decision is that the way they chose to expand Castlevania lore is by saying, okay, most of the Castlevania lore, most of the games take place within this region of Europe. And then they went, but wait a minute, there's lore all over the world.
Yeah.
There's stuff in Africa. There's stuff in the Caribbean. There's stuff. The fact that they decided, oh no, we're going to make the entire, you know, mythical knowledge of magic, shamanism, everything around the world, we're going to bring it into the Castlevania universe in one way, shape, or form. And that to me was like, okay, they just said, guys, the entire world is our toy box. And we're going to find a way to make Castlevania work there. Because now, if they decide to go somewhere else and create a brand new character in a different region and just stamp the Castlevania name on it, I can see it happen. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, I like that it's still taking place in Europe, but that it's so expansive in that way. And that takes me to this. One of my favorite characters, which I want to know who your favorite character in the series was. Of the characters that we met, my favorite character in this show is none other than Orlox. I mean,
yeah.
this guy.
Olrox was a pretty. He was a very interesting character because you felt like you wanted to hate him, and then you kind of liked him, and then he was very very complex.
Yeah, Sam McLaren did an amazing job. Bringing Olrock to life.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
And the whole idea of his Aztec heritage,
Mm-hmm.
that we're going all the way to the Aztecs, to that area of South America, and then his connection to the Mohicans and the Revolutionary War in the United States, like the charisma, the charm, the idea that he knows that he's a monster, but that there's always bigger monsters than vampires. And like the idea that there's bigger monsters against society. Like he understands what he is, and he's still gonna do vampire things, right? But you never really see him kill for the sake of killing like other vampires. Like he knows what it is to have nothing and have it taken away from you, and understand that what he's gotten back has been a gift, kind of, because even when we meet him to fight Julia Belmont, which, by the way, phenomenal fight, tragic death, and we finally got ghost skulls. Like
right, yeah, that was pretty
we
dope.
finally got the ghost skulls, so that was a great insertion there.
Yeah.
But he didn't kill Julia to feed. He killed Julia because Julia killed his partner.
Right.
Like this is a very he reminds me of Dracula.
Yeah, it was personal.
Yes, in the way he operates, and even when he saves Mizrak, which again, another great addition to this cast. And I like the fact that by the end of the series, he's part of the crew now, so we're going to be seeing more of him.
Yeah, we'll definitely get more Mizrak.
So I like the idea that there's a humanity in this monster. You know what I mean? And that's why he can't stand Ursula Bathory, because he's seen monsters like her before. And monsters like her before don't do good for anybody, because all they think about is themselves.
Yeah.
Which again, it's a good distinction, because in the past, all we had was Dracula and the other vampires, right? And because in the original series, we have Dracula for the first 2 seasons, and then the other 2 seasons, we have a little bit of Isaac, but also we have humans being just shitty, right? That's kind of what the villains are in season 3 and 4. But in here, we go back to vampires, but now we're seeing all of that idea, and we're blurring the lines even further with who's actually friend or foe. But Ulrox was my favorite character. And he was sharp as fuck, dude. He was great. He was great.
I think you got a crush on Ulrox.
I don't know why you think I picked this picture.
I think I think you're guy crushing on Ulrox. I think a lot of guys are guy crushing on Ulrox. Truth be told, it's like that is a damn handsome.
You know what the funny
vampire.
thing is? You want to know what the funny thing is? He has earned El Guapo. That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, absolutely. That was a damn charismatic and attractive vampire. I'll give them that. Yep. Absolutely, yeah. That was a very well designed character.
Isaac, what was your favorite character in this new season? Or if anything, a character arc, because I know you're big on arcs and stuff.
Well, this might be a bit cliche to say, but Richter.
Richter fan. Okay.
For one simple reason. Yes, for one simple reason. The fact that he's struggling with the PTSD and the fact that he managed to come up with it and all that, come out of it and all that. Yes, sure, it's not a super duper realistic, at the same time realistic with how his panic attack at the middle of it was, I can say from experience that panic attack like that is well, let's just say that it felt very realistic, and due to his trauma, even as someone that has been diagnosed with PTSD. It was easy to connect with him, even if I don't share the same exact problem.
Yep.
And look who's joining us.
Welcome, Jamie.
Hey everybody, sorry I'm late. Phone calls, people, life.
It's all good. It's all good. You came in a good spot. So you know what? I am just gonna throw you out there. So we're talking about our favorite characters, or what our favorite character or story was in this show. I shared how I have a guy crush on Olrox. You know, I made sure I swiped. What is it, left? How's that? Like, Isaac talked about Richter. If you were to pick a character that was like your definitive favorite character so far, who was it?
No, I didn't miss any simping, you know. I'm sure there'll be more. But
Yeah, there was hardcore simping over Olrock. So
if I had to
Stop
pick
it.
one character, it's kind of crazy because at first I didn't like this about this character, but then it kind of just became really funny. I think I pick Edouard as my favorite character. It's
Fair.
just like watching him. First of all, I was not as after he got like bitten and then he was like kind of tossed in the pile with everybody else. I didn't really think we were gonna see him again. I was like, oh dang, that's unfortunate. Like he seemed cool. He likes to sing, and then boy does he like to sing because that he does a lot more of that throughout the rest
Even
of the
after he got
show.
night creatured.
Yeah, even after he got especially when he got night creature, he's like, you know, this is the
Yep.
one thing that I know I can do, that I can connect to people with my voice. And I was like a little bit upset about how much singing he was doing as a night creature, because I was thinking like, you know, shouldn't he try to like make a plan to get out of here, or like he literally just sat on the ground and sang the whole time. Like there was not much movement out of Edouard. But then I came to realize, like, no, okay, Edouard's living his best life. He's singing to people. He's connecting with them. He's reaching out to these night creatures that before is like, you know, he was like the rest of them. He would like dispose of the night creatures as he had to, you know, just to survive. But then he found that like deeper level with them through his voice and also just talking with them and connecting. I'm like, okay, Edouard, I see you. I see you. I wish he would have helped with the fights a little bit when they were near him. He could have reached through the bars, grabbed somebody, maybe. But no, he just kept sitting there singing.
Hey, he's the quintessential bard. He hides and he sings and power ups the party. That's his job.
Yep, he did that. He did that. So Edouard, he kind of became my favorite meme character. If I had to pick another one, I would probably say I kind of like the priest. I don't like what he did.
The abbot,
and
the
abbot. Yes, the abbot. I don't think he's a good person, but he has a very complicated like story that's told in a really interesting way. I think even with the way that the season ended, I'm really curious, like how does he stay active in this story going forward? Like, what is his role in the future? The abbot was really interesting, and seeing like everything that unfolded with him. I was unexpectedly surprised. It was cool.
Argwinder joins the chat and says that the abbot looks like Emperor Palpatine. Yo,
that's awesome.
Talk about character development.
Not wrong.
There you go. It looks like Palpatine, but he gives off Moff Tarkin vibes for me. Yeah.
So you know what's interesting? I love that Jamie brought the abbot, because part of me, it's tired of seeing all the religious archetypes just, you know, be the archetypes as people that justify horrible things in the act of God, right, and all that.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they chose to contrast it with Mizrak. Like Mizrak, yes, is still in the gray, but he's actually trying to do what should be considered the right thing. So I like the fact that we kind of got a paladin now in the party. So I kind of want to see where that goes.
Are you gonna RPG
You know?
every character in the show?
It needs to happen. Come on, bro.
Right.
You know that what was the name? What was the name of the main character of Final Fantasy VI? Locke. Like Richter got strong Locke vibes. That's all I'm saying. He throwing daggers and grabbing him back, and then he does like magic daggers, which again that was pretty badass. Now, Rob, we haven't asked you your favorite character. Your favorite character for the show.
I have two. I got a hero and a villain, but hero wise, it's got to be Richter. Richter is definitely my favorite. I loved how awesome his skills are pre-magic.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that he was flicking daggers and bringing them back with his whip was like, damn, he's good. Like,
he was just flexing on them at that point.
It is so good.
And mind you, like just chilling at that, like not even really trying. He's just like clink, clink. This is just what I do. This is just
no. And did you guys notice that was so awesome that they literally had Edward say, "That's amazing."
Yeah, because it is like the guys. What? Like, is nobody else seeing what this kid is doing? Because that's amazing.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
So I will give him that. And then post getting his magic powers back, at that point it was kind of like, damn, all right, now it's just OP here. The guy doesn't even need weapons if he has to, but he can. I mean, a fire whip. That's dope. That's freaking sick. So yeah, it's kind of hard not to like Richter, especially after he threw the bandana on. Once he threw the bandana on, which is funny because when he got it and then he put it in his pocket, I was kind of like, he's coming. He's throwing it on. It's coming. And then when he finally, got his powers on and he put his bandana on, I was like, that's it. That's my boy right there. That's it. That's him. That's the dude. So,
did Jill catch the music cue though?
Oh yeah.
When they played his song, bro.
Yeah, they played his song. It was kind of like, oh
yes.
That was pretty dope. So yeah, Richter for sure. I thought he did an amazing job, and obviously the voice actor himself did a phenomenal job of him.
It was Edward Blumel.
Kept him chill, smooth, smooth, nuanced. He had that very relaxed young guy vibe, but when he got serious, like you heard his tonal change. So I thought that was pretty dope. As for like my favorite villain, I loved Drolta. I thought she was awesome. She had the heels with no heel on. I don't know if y'all picked up on those shoes because those shoes was crazy. I was like, hold on,
ballerina herself.
She's
all over,
just
bro.
straight up on the balls of her feet. She got no heel, walking like a badass. And when she went into full demon vampire form at the end, and you saw her hair just shimmer black and pink, I was like, oh, I love her. I'll let her take a bite. She can take a bite. I'm happy. I'll be a slave. I'll be your chalice. Whatever you want, Drolta.
Come on, girl. I'll take you to a show.
Listen, I'll let Drolta. I'll be her chalice. I don't care.
Like I've been told I have some sweet blood. I mean,
hey, listen. Listen, if you need that B negative, just right here. Insert here, please.
I love that you mentioned the boots.
Yo, every time she came on, I was like, look at them boots. She is so fierce.
Did you guys notice that it creates a imagery because when she becomes when she evolves into demon Drolta, she literally has hooves.
Yeah, they're hooves. Yeah, that she's
the idea that she's like hiding in plain sight.
Yeah,
how demonic she really is. That was pretty brilliant. It was great.
Yeah, I loved her character design though. Like I love that she had a like in the picture that you see it there, that her eyes match her hair and that there's this kind of like fade of color. I thought that was really cool, and it kind of moves like when she moved, like the fade would kind of move also. Like she had this demonic like essence about her, which was really dope. I thought that was awesome, and the fact that they painted her hair in a way where it's not like, it doesn't look like hair. Like the way you look at it there, it's like an outline with an essence that is her hair. I thought that was such a clever detail to add. But yeah, I love Drolta. Heart Drolta.
Yes.
Forever. Drolta forever.
Yes.
That's my boo.
One of the things that I loved about Richter, because again, I didn't mention he is my favorite of the heroes. He is my favorite. Annette is a very close second because her arc is great as well, and her powers are very cool.
But you level rocks. Sorry, I had to say it. I level rocks.
Don't make me like blush, man. If you like pina colada, no.
You're gonna have an old rock tattoo all over your heart. Your girl's gonna be like, "Who's that?" Be like, "No one. It's my favorite cartoon character."
Like, oh, it's a birthmark.
Rocks, you can hit me with that skull anytime. No. So the whole thing with Richter that I found so cool, it wasn't just the elemental powers. The idea that he would build instant ice armor whenever he was fighting hand to hand, bruh. Like the elbow pads, the
ice gloves, fists,
like the ice shield
which
out
could
of
be
nowhere.
used like defensively and offensively. I thought that was pretty cool. Like
that was very Devil May Cry too. Like I don't know if you remember on Devil May Cry 3, when you grab the Beowulf gloves and the kicks, that you got the gauntlets and it's all like it reminded me a lot of that. So it's a lot of cool stuff. So if you were to pick a favorite moment or sequence, what was it? Rob, if you were to pick one. I mean, you kind of already said with Richter. Is that the moment?
Yeah, but we'll shelve that one because I feel like that one's too obvious. If I had to pick one, I feel like there's two moments. Edward singing Lacrimosa in the last episode, I thought was incredible. I thought that was amazing. I thought that just wrapped up everything that was going on so beautifully. So musically, I really enjoyed that one. And from a cheeky, fun side, Just's introduction was freaking hilariously awesome. I thought that was so awesome.
Yes.
And the fact that Richter was kind of like, "Oh, I'm gonna take these guys out. Where'd my whip go?" And this old man is just like whack, 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 taking these dudes out. And the first thing he says is, "I forgot how heavy that thing is." I was like, "Oh, that's amazing. I love that."
He literally pulled a Captain America on your left. That's literally what happened.
It was so dope. I was like, man, Just came up. And it goes to show you how badass Belmonts are, man, regardless of their age. Like, they're just nasty vampire hunters. So I thought...
And they're all sarcastic and idiots. Cool. I love that, too. Like, they all have that sarcasm built in.
Yeah, they're all just, like, kind of jerks to everyone. You're like, oh, yeah, you're my grandkid. Whatever.
It makes sense since he's voiced by Bruce Wayne, also. Yes,
Oh,
Ian Glenn.
Oh, Ian Glenn.
Ian Glenn played Bruce in Titans, voiced him. So
nice.
Man.
I like that. Yeah. I like those moments.
I would say that was Just's intro was pretty dope.
No, and I want to tee off on that. It's to that moment where literally he goes, "Tara, we had a deal." I was like, "Did she tell you?" It's like, "No, she didn't tell me." Oh.
Yeah. It's like, all right. Yeah, it's just so matter of fact, like, okay. Oops. I guess I spilled the beans on myself. Oh, well.
Jamie, if you were to pick a scene or a moment that was your favorite, what would it be? What would it have been?
Well, the first one, which it seems like y'all have talked about already, but like Richter's like awakening and getting the magic powers back. That's probably my favorite.
Super Saiyan Richter.
There you go, God, Super Saiyan God Richter.
Right. If I had to pick another one, I think it would be like actually in that last episode when the abbot is like, you know, he's about to sacrifice Maria, which was already like, oh my God, like I can't believe this guy. And then I can't remember what is Maria's mom's name.
Tara.
So bad names. Tara.
Tara.
Yeah. Tara she looks at the abbot and she's like, like you were looking for like your lamb, but like here I am. Like
Oh,
this is, I am the
that
lamb.
was
Like do what you
Oh.
need to do, like save our daughter. I was like,
Yeah.
that was really
Oh.
impactful. That was a good
pretty.
moment.
That was pretty amazing.
Emmanuel, I'm the ram.
Yeah, I'm the ram. Yeah,
and
when
then
she
when
said
you
that, I was
see
like,
her,
oh shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and how crazy and horrific
heavy.
was that scene when you see her turn? That was like one of the last images we see is that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
It's
that
funny that like that happened.
great
I was
pick.
like, I
Great
remember going, oh no, now what? And then the episode finishes and I go, and I was like, oh come on, I gotta wait.
Yeah.
Damn, I hate how good that was.
let me call Addie Shankar.
Write it now. Tell me what's happening.
Isaac, favorite moment or scene?
Good one though, Jamie. Good one.
Introduction, sort of even if it's short and sweet, the reoccurrence of a certain stoic half vampire. I would
Alucard?
say Super Saiyan Richter going Super Saiyan, but since we all have noticed it, mentioned it before, I go with the reintroduction of Alucard.
Yeah.
The return of the White Knight.
That freaking gorgeous human being. See, you sim for Olrox the way I sim for Alucard.
I know. It's
just me.
I simp hard for Alucard.
So since we have this now, Isaac brought it up. Great cliffhanger. Let's start there because the fact that
I love your new nickname, Brandon. By the way, that you.
Olrox simp.
The Olrox simp. Nice.
I'll take great reintroduction to Alucard. Great surprise. I love the fact that he comes back deadly and never. And the first thing he does he one-shots Drolta, which nobody has been able to even kind of touch.
Mhm.
Like Richter's done damage,
Brandon,
but he just
before you finish, watch how you talk about my girl. All right, continue.
I'm not.
Put some respect on
Watch
her.
how you talk about my woman, all right?
I'm just saying, bro.
Just saying. She
got
can
some
take care of
scribbled out real
herself,
quick,
but
is what I'm
watch
saying.
how you talk about her.
But can we all agree that I don't know how, but what a phenomenal Alucard redesign.
Yeah.
And it's he looks just like Symphony of the Night Alucard.
Oh, yeah,
now.
like 100%. He looks like the artwork. Yeah, it's like
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
They kept him so, which is awesome because he's so different from everything in the show that because of how flat he looks, he stands out even more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
especially in
he
the darkness.
looks like he doesn't belong in this world. He's so on another level.
Speculation here and out. I don't remember if you guys recall me mentioning it in our season 3 review, but since Dracula did came back to life in the end of season 4, what are the odds that he returned to Alucard and became a mentor to him, and that's why he is by the looks of it so much more powerful than it was back in season 4?
Potentially. I mean, he already had that, gorgeous paleness to him, but the dude came back like Alucard the White, like he looks like he came back looking crazy. You know what I mean? Like he looks otherworldly. He was a little bit more embedded in realism in the original. So I mean, that is I mean, maybe I say that's a hell of a theory though.
I like the idea that he comes back and says, and there's the Belmont with whip and all. Now, my favorite moment was going to be the one that Jamie mentioned.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, when Olrox was on screen, but okay.
Stop it.
Whenever Olrox spoke was my favorite.
I mean, it fits your nickname.
Stop it. Oh, I see you just added it to my thing without.
Your new nickname should be Brandon wishes he was Mizrak. Brandon Mizrak should be your new name.
Wow. A lot has happened today.
Now you
we do
notice what I
accept
did.
anything. No,
But we love you.
I loved the Ram thing. To me was so emotional and so powerful. The whole arc with Richter was great. I want to say I don't know if I can pick a moment because all of you guys picked so many great moments. But the whole thing where Annette and Richter are there and they come to terms with each other and they accept their differences and what they've gone through, and you feel the little spark there. I like the
when
fact,
they're in the room.
yes, I love that moment
gotcha.
because they set something up that wasn't important there, but it's going to be important later. Like I love all the way they set up what the future seasons are going to be, and that's one of the many moments that they set up that was great.
Yeah.
So that was a moment that I found very sweet, very unique, and
not overly like it didn't feel like it was like honey dumped over your head either. Like it was just a little bit, just enough so that you can
like
see
they found enough common ground to be like, I can like this person, you know what I mean? I can connect.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've given enough. We got to give more love to Annette as a character, because what a badass heroine we have, you know, and also she brings a lot to the team. That's like, I love the fact that all of them brought something very, very different. I love the fact that the magic that she does is very different than the magic that Richter does and the magic that Maria does. Like everybody does something very, very different. So I want to see how she grows as a character and also gets closer to Richter. Now, in season 2, which officially has been announced, which I am very excited for that. So Isaac, you don't have to break the internet. It's happening. We're getting a season 2. It's okay.
Put the pitchforks down.
Telling you that because you missed it. So
I know, but I let you change my name. Give me this.
Nah.
Even though I love my name. No, but so I'm excited for season 2. Now, if there's one thing in season 2 that you can see, that you want to see, what would that be? Because the one thing I want to see the castle again. Because if Alucard's there, he may have fixed in the last 300. By the way, the idea that Sypha acted as a timestamp here, because Sypha existed 300 years ago. So Alucard has had plenty of time to fix the movable motors of the castle, of Dracula's castle. So the fact that we might be able to go back into the castle to get stronger, train, get more equipment and stuff like that, I kind of want to go back to the castle, you know, because Castlevania. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I'm looking forward to. Is there anything you guys are looking forward to in season 2 that you would like to be there?
Personally, I'm sure it's going to happen, but I'd love to see Alucard training Richter more. Like give him some badass training. I mean, he already came in. Clearly, Alucard is way more OP than Richter is, so it'd be cool to see him like kind of show him the ropes a little bit. I think that'd be pretty dope to see both characters.
I want him to talk about Trevor and just talk about how horrible Trevor was, and Richter be like just the same as like I want to see that.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, I'd like to see that. I would like to see that for sure.
Yeah, speaking of Trevor, I think what I'm looking forward to for the next season is probably some more like grit, you know, now that we've seen like Richter kind of come into his own and reawaken to his powers, and I guess kind of, even if he's not completely okay with like the way that he left things with his mom, at least he's now, you know, he's understanding that he can move past, I guess, these feelings of regret and really try to make a difference for the people that he still has with him. I'm looking forward to some more of that grit. I admittedly did miss Trevor a little bit and kind of like the roughness that he has. And he's just very much like, I do the thing, so I do the thing. Like, I'm not going to be sweet about it. I'm not going to try and like sugarcoat it. I'm just going to do it. And, that's just the way I do things. So I don't want Richter to become Trevor because, they're two different characters. I want them to have their own identities. Yeah. But I'm not like... I feel like Richter was a little bit of a crybaby this season, a little tiny bit, which I don't mind it, but I'm ready for him to like toughen up a little bit, like now we've had our moment to weep. So now let's wipe off the tears and get this thing rolling.
Yeah, I think that might be a character thing though, because I think the grit of the show really lies heavily on Annette.
Yeah. I went through a lot.
Yeah, she's metaphorically speaking, she's the balls of the group.
Mm-hmm. So maybe there will be more of them kind of intertwining, I guess. So
yeah.
I'd be down for that.
For sure. Yeah.
An exchanging of cojones, so to speak.
Oh gosh.
You talking about sex scenes, bro?
I'm just talking about grit, bro.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
All rocks in your head, man.
Right? See? You mention all rocks, and all of a sudden he's all thinking about sexy time. Cut it out, Brandon.
So,
head out of better.
Isaac. Hey. All rocks. Isaac, if you can pick anything.
I love your nickname, by the way.
You finally saw it, didn't you?
Oh boy.
Sorry, I was muted for a sec.
So if you were to looking forward to anything in particular for season 2 of Castlevania Nocturne?
I know it sounds a bit cliche, but I'm just curious to see how Alucard will react towards Richter in comparison to Trevor kind of deal.
I feel like I'll probably like him more, honestly, because again, like Trevor is very like he's Richter's not polished. Yeah, he's not a polished guy. He's really rough, kind of could be disgusting at times. Yeah. I feel like Richter's very different in that regard.
Yeah, he's also younger than Trevor.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
Trevor was definitely like in his 30s.
Yeah, he was older
40s,
and way
right?
more jaded. And I feel like that's the Belmont thing, is that the older they get, the more jaded they get because of the nature of their work.
Look at Juice.
They can't help that.
It's like,
oh yeah, exactly. Look at Juice. Like he's jaded as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like he's good at what he does, but he's in life to him is like whatever. That's like the Belmont attitude is just meh.
Look, the fact that this right here, this meme exists. Yeah. The fact that he actually asked this question talks to you about. Oh, so that's what happened to Belmonts when they grow old. Yeah. They just don't care. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, they just naturally have a blasé nature about them. Like they're all very just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, wow, you do amazing things. I guess.
I mean,
and it kind of makes sense. I mean, not to cut. Go ahead, Isaac.
I was just gonna say, after your 354th killing of vampires and potentially losing at least a handful of comrades for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It's not that surprising if they becomes kind of numb.
Right, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like, after going through so much, if you don't become calloused, you're probably going to lose your mind. So
yeah, absolutely.
So let's wrap up with something fun. Take advantage that our good guest here is not just a phenomenal VO, but great gamer as well. Esa persona, hey guapo. So real quick, Jamie, if you could turn a game into a show like Castlevania, what game would you pick?
That's a good question. I think Ghost of Tsushima. We do have a movie coming out though, so low key is kind of like I'm getting
but an anime,
wish granted. But yeah, I would love to see that.
I respect that. I respect that a lot.
It's a good one.
Isaac,
Let me go last.
of course. I have no clue, even though I brought this question. Mario plus rabbits.
I don't know if I could tolerate that.
Stop it.
I don't know
Pick
if I
a
could
real
watch
game,
that.
you maniac.
It's a fun game.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
I
fun
don't
game.
doubt
You're not
that.
gonna make a whole cartoon out of that. That's ridiculous. Pick a new one.
Yeah. If I have to listen to the rabbits speak for more than like
I
a
would-
minute,
Too much.
So
Too much.
a game, I would pick something like, I want to see a legit. It's gonna be they're kind of already done it, so now I can't pick that. No, they've done that too.
What was that choice?
I was thinking of Final Fantasy, but like Final Fantasy VII is getting its whole thing. But you know,
You know what?
like you can't
I would take it.
say they haven't done like a legit like animated
Yeah.
show. Like they've done the
Yeah.
movie, but you know they got a couple of things here and there.
right?
They got like the whole thing with Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood. That damn Rob, I'm sorry, says Mike in chat. But I would I know. Well, they've done that. Damn it. Why have they done everything I want?
They've
Says
done
the
more
man
than
that
you think.
wants Yeah, right? There's a lot more, right? Like 'cause I was thinking
Yeah.
about Son of the Enders, which is a great
Zone of the
series,
Enders. Oh, okay.
Mm.
which is great. But they do have anime. And it's not as popular, but they do have anime. So they don't have it. But I don't know, man. I kind of want.
Did
I
you
can't
play?
say Devil May Cry because they've announced it. I can't say
Yeah,
Tomb
they
Raider
did do
because
that.
they've announced it, which is great. I'm glad that they're finally doing those.
Yeah.
Like they're doing a lot of great stuff. I think we're very
Kingdom
lucky.
Hearts? Question mark.
Ooh.
I
It
don't
would.
know
It
how that
wouldn't be
would
my
work.
pick. I was just thinking maybe.
No, but that would
like
be a good
that.
pick.
Only
They would have
Tetris.
to
No.
simplify it.
Only Disney can make that show.
True. Also
Yes.
true. I was gonna
That's
say
the only problem with it is that only Disney would
Yeah.
be able to make that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and this is also kind of a cheaty one. Like Hi-Fi Rush just recently came out, and I really like that.
That was a cool one.
And-
Great animation style.
It was, but I'm also like, is it kind of cheating because already kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon, or maybe they could do a different style. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that would be cheating. I think that's a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Oh, but they made animations of that too. Damn it. But you know what? They can do the whole series on it. Ooh. You imagine they haven't done this. If they give Doom the Castlevania treatment,
Doom?
yes.
Oh.
Especially the newer ones.
Mm.
Like with all that a lot more lore and glory kills and like
The most Christian video game ever.
Yeah,
I mean, isn't he supposed to be Catholic, the Doom guy?
I don't know.
I
Has he
don't
ever talked about that?
I
He's
don't
like,
know.
let me pray before I kill my demons.
I know, right?
I smite thee.
The power
So-
of Christ compels, yeah.
So Rob,
Yeah.
do you have a game?
Yes, he's
in mind?
supposed to be Catholic. And anyway,
Because I do
go
have
for it,
another
Rob.
bonus question for you, Rob. But if you have a game.
I don't know if it would be anime, but I would like to see it animated. That I think would be really fun and could even be it also because they are kids, but I feel like the subject matter caters to adults. So I think it would be a really fun cartoon. Would be a Psychonauts cartoon.
Bro, yes.
That could be insane.
Yes.
but
I
it's
think,
really
and
good.
and
Yes.
there's the
I'm with
animation
you.
is freaking crazy. The idea of how mental health looks inside someone's brain in
Mhm.
different ways, I think could be really really fun to play around with. So
Mama.
yeah, I think that would actually be a very entertaining
You said
concept to
that,
play around with.
and I thought about two things.
Mm.
I thought about the animation style of Aw, Real Monsters from Nickelodeon
Yeah, good one. Yeah,
for Psychonauts.
that would be fun.
Either that
Yeah,
or stop motion. like
Ooh.
Coraline and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I think that would probably play better.
Yeah, for Psychonauts, because it's a great pick.
Yeah, I agree. I think a stop motion Coraline, something, because it also fits the darkness of the subject matter as well. Because it's kids, but when you play the game, you're like, this is dark. This is a dark game. You know, these are dark games, but they're really good. They're very well done.
Yeah. So we've done the thing. We talked about Castlevania Nocturne. We've given our thoughts, done our deep dive.
You had a bonus question, and I haven't gotten to my game.
Oh yeah.
I know.
What's the bonus question for Rob?
Okay.
Well, give your game first, and we'll close with the bonus question for Rob.
First of all, this one is obvious. The other one is just an answer if this one doesn't count. But Fire Emblem. I just say Fire Emblem as a whole because I will go so far to say that if they made a proper Fire Emblem adaptation, particularly something like the Telios game with Ike, if you have played Super Smash Bros., you know who that is. You could have the animated equivalent of Game of Thrones, and no, I'm not even joking there. You could easily make one there. If I had to make a specific video game, so to speak, and not just going more Fire Emblem, it might be my weird sense of humor, but Banjo-Kazooie could be a lot of fun.
I think so too. Would you give it the Donkey Kong treatment?
No. No. Fuck no. I'm not sure of. I'm not sure what type of animation I would go with Banjo-Kazooie. I wouldn't go. Studio-wise, I would probably go with something along the lines of Clockwork animation, someone that makes more cartoony style anime. When it comes to Fire Emblem, well, I know it's a bit generic to say, but give it to Ufotable. And not, I'm not saying Mappa, give it to Ufotable because them doing specific scenes could just be incredible, and Mappa doesn't need to have everything.
Yeah,
they're doing everything nowadays. But that's a good pick, man. That was a very good pick. So, as we close out our great conversation with Castlevania, Rob, thank you for being here. It's always an honor and a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
I got a bonus question for you, Guapo. I'm gonna put you on the spot. It's gonna happen. So XYZ Studio calls you for a meeting. And tells you, Rob, what is that character that you know that you can bring to life from a video game so we can make an adaptation? If you were to pick a character that you could bring to life for an adaptation, what would that character be?
That's a hard question. Jeez. Wow. Yeah, I don't think I've ever thought about that. Oh man. Should have gave me this question before I got on the show, man. I really got to think about that. Wow. Oh, that is tough. And presumably it's a pre-existing character. Oh, geez.
I didn't expect to stump you that hard, but
yeah, I mean, because as a voice actor, you never really think about it. Like, what games you'd like to be in, but you never think about a character to take over. So yeah, like that's not really something you ever really consider, because that if you're taking over it, presumably it's already something that's existed and potentially popular. So you never really think about that. I mean, if I had to pick and it was absolutely my choice and somehow feasible, I would absolutely love to pick up the mantle of a young Batman.
Oh,
Nice.
Not an older one. I know I don't. I mean, I know I could pitch lower if I wanted to, but not for a whole game. But if it was like the Batman era kind of a game, his first couple years out, I feel like that I could probably rock.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, a year one Batman.
And there is a version of your Batman out there. For those that don't know.
Mhm.
Yes.
You voice him in your own little production of Hush, which is great.
Yes, yeah, I did a couple of my own videos that I did. It was comic adaptations where I voiced Batman among other characters as well. But yeah, so yeah, I
Nice.
did that. That was
Send me the links and I put it in the description down below.
Oh, sure. It's funny because I still get comments every now. I mean, these were like years ago when I did it. And when I mean, yeah, they're probably like 5 years old, maybe older at this point. I still to this day will get a random comment on those YouTube videos of people saying like, when are you dropping the next chapter? These are so good. I'm like, oh my God, people are still watching this. This is so crazy. I know,
great,
I know,
though.
but this was very early on in my career, so I never thought anything about it. But like, yeah, no, they exist. They're out there. I mean, they're okay. You know, I did everything myself. That's the only problem. Like each one took me about a month to put together because I did all the sound engineering for the actors would send me their files, and I had to literally link them up and put them into a flow that went with the panels that were playing, adding in the sound effects. And yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was cool though. I mean, they came out pretty
awesome.
Fun. They came out pretty fun, I thought.
Hey, I would listen to your Batman all day.
Thanks. I think I'm a lot better at my Batman now too. So it'd be cool to like kind of go back and I don't know, maybe start from scratch, see if anybody wants to see if any actors felt like jumping in out of fun. Who knows?
Nice.
We'll see.
Very nice.
We'll see.
So
awesome.
That's the live stream today, guys. Rob, if people wanted to find your stuff, where can they find it?
Well, you have my @ there, so that's for Twitter, but Rob Moreira VO is pretty much where you'll find me on Instagram, or you could just Google my name. If you Google my name, I'm very easy to find. I'm kind of all over the place. You'll see the games I'm in, the cartoons I'm in, and potentially a couple of commercials that I voiced. So you'll see. I'm not exactly difficult to find.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If y'all like what we do here at the Amateur Otaku podcast, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. To those 185 subscribers that have subscribed, thank you for your amazing support. We might have to work out something to celebrate when we hit 200. So thank you for your support and for loving what we do. Make sure for those that are discovering us for the first time, subscribe, like, and make sure you share with your friends so they can join the amazing anime-loving community and awesome conversations that we have every single week. You guys are awesome. Stay awesome. We'll see you next time on the Amateur Otaku podcast. See you guys. Peace.
See you later.